The High Shelf Helpers. Soren was a cat who loved to nap in the warm patches of sunlight on the kitchen floor. He was big and strong, but he wasn't very fast. Usually, when he saw Mipsy the mouse, he would give a half-hearted chase, but Mipsy was always much too quick for him. They lived in the same house, but they never spoke a word to each other. One afternoon, Mipsy found something wonderful. High up on the very top shelf of the pantry sat a sparkling glass jar. Inside were the most delicious-looking star-shaped crackers she had ever seen. "Oh, if only I could reach those," Mipsy whispered, her nose twitching with excitement. But the shelf was miles away from the floor for a tiny mouse. Soren padded into the kitchen and saw the jar too. His stomach gave a hungry growl. He crouched low, wiggled his tail, and took a giant leap toward the counter. But Soren was heavy, and the counter was slippery. He slid right off the edge and landed back on the floor with a soft thump. He let out a frustrated sigh. Mipsy didn't want to give up. She tried to climb the long, flowing kitchen curtains. She scurried up the fabric until she reached the level of the shelf, but when she tried to jump to the jar, the curtain swayed away. She swung back and forth, squeaking in fear, until she finally slid back down to the safety of the rug. Soren and Mipsy looked at each other. For the first time, they didn't think about chasing or hiding. "I am strong enough to reach the counter," Soren said, "but I am too big to balance on the narrow shelf." Mipsy nodded and replied, "I am small enough to walk on the shelf, but I am not strong enough to open the heavy lid." "What if we try together?" Mipsy suggested. Soren purred in agreement. He walked over to the tall pantry cabinet and stood up as tall as he could on his hind legs. He pressed his front paws against the wood to stay steady. "Climb up, Mipsy," he called out. "Use my fur like a ladder." Mipsy scrambled up Soren's back, over his shoulders, and finally perched right between his ears. Soren wobbled a little, but he stayed very still. From the top of Soren's head, Mipsy could easily reach the edge of the high shelf. She hopped onto the wood and scurried toward the sparkling glass jar. The jar had a silver metal latch. Mipsy pushed with her shoulders and pulled with her paws. Because she was on the shelf, she could use all her strength. Click! The latch snapped open. Then, she nudged the heavy glass lid with her head until it slid to the side with a loud clink. The smell of star-shaped crackers filled the air. Mipsy carefully dropped the crackers down, one by one. Soren caught them in his soft paws and laid them gently on the rug. When the jar was empty, Mipsy climbed back down Soren's back. They sat together on the floor, sharing the crunchy treats. They found that the crackers tasted even better because they had worked together to get them. From Knar on, Soren and Mipsy were the best of friends. They realized that being different was their greatest strength. Soren was the ladder, and Mipsy was the key. Whenever a task was too big for one, they knew it was just the right size for two. Cooperation had turned a hunter and a hider into a perfect team.